Hi everyone, Jessica Morrison here with Brittany Howard from the B Group in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We are kicking off an agent interview series helping you get connected with agents across the country who are amazing at what they do. Brittany, thank you so much for tuning in today.
Oh, no problem at all. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super cash today because, this is Louisiana. We're in the South over here. We don't dress up much.
So, Brittany, I just have always loved your personality. We clicked back in 2016 and have just stayed in touch. You've been a wealth of knowledge and just a continual source of encouragement and inspiration in my career. But for those who have not met you or are thinking of moving to Louisiana, let's just help them get to know you. How did you get into real estate? And just tell us a little bit about your career.
I was talking to a friend a little earlier today, and she asked me, what made you get into real estate? And I was like, I don't have one of those amazing stories saying, I had an epiphany one day and I woke up in the morning or whatever these weird stories people tell are. One of my friends called me and said, hey, I think you should do real estate. I said, no, there are a million different real estate agents. I see them all over my Facebook page, all that good stuff. Well, she said to me that that she really thought that I should do real estate because she sold $1 million in a month. And I was like, that's fantastic. I don't know what that means. And she said, I made 25,000 last month. I said, it sounds like I should do real estate. Um, I took the course in 7 days. It was a 90-hour course. I was finished in 7 days, passed it then, took my test about 6 weeks later, passed it, and start selling houses. It's so funny because I probably should have always done real estate. My dad was a subcontractor. He did brick masonry work in Memphis, a lot of commercial and residential properties. My granddad did the same. His dad did the same. So I come from a family of construction and in the residential world. I took a few years of architectural drafting, but why it never clicked in my brain to do real estate, I'm not too sure. So that's kind of my story, which is
I love
hilarious.
it. I love it. Now, what areas do you serve in Baton Rouge? I mean, I have never been to Louisiana. It is on my bucket list at some point. But for those who are considering maybe even investing in real estate or investment properties, kind of walk us through the map of where you are active.
So in our areas, it's the greater Baton Rouge area, which is basically, gosh, I'm not even sure how many parishes. I should probably know that. Probably 4 or 5 different parishes, which are counties in other areas. I can basically work from Port Allen, Plaquemine, Baton Rouge, all of it. Zachary, Central, Gonzales, Ascension Parish. It's a huge bubble. But can I work in New Orleans? Yes. Do I work in New Orleans? Not really. So I know enough about the market to explain and assist someone there, but it's not my number one. I know this like the back of my hand. You asked about investment properties. I think last year or the year before, people here had a massive rate of return. I think we were number 7 in the country for flippers. That's shifted a little bit. And right now, what I'm seeing is an area here being gentrified, but the prices of the homes are still super low. So I see out of state investors come in, they're buying multifamily properties. They're also buying portfolios of bubbles. So, for example, one of my investors has an 11 home portfolio, all tenant occupied. They're all Section 8 tenant occupied. He's selling those for 400,000, and that's like roughly about 44 each. They're probably worth 50 or 60 each, and so I'm starting to see a lot of that come through.
That's amazing. Is multifamily a large representation of the housing in
Yeah.
Louisiana? No. Okay. So to have that many together is pretty unique then.
Well, that portfolio isn't a multifamily; it's a single family,
I see.
but it's 11 single families. Um, I don't on our MLS right now, I just looked yesterday, there are maybe 4 multifamilies for sale.
Hmm.
So it's not a lot at all. Most of those are off market, and you have to be very specific and intentional on who you're calling to get those. Can I get those? Sure. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say Indianapolis is very much the same. Like we have some multifamily, but what's for sale, I think, is also reflective or consistent of just the market in general. There's not much to choose from, and you have investors looking to get in and make a good deal. But if you're an investor and you don't want to put effort into like actually improving the property's condition and you want it to be turnkey, that's going to be an even harder find, or you're just going to have to be comfortable not maybe making as much in the first few years. So would you say that that's true for you?
It's very similar. Sometimes, probably within the last 3 weeks, I saw a multifamily come up for 185,000. It was a 4 unit, which is perfect for house hacking or living in one unit and getting three people to pay your mortgage, with
Mhm.
as a landlord. So I've seen that. I see a little bit of it on the MLS, but I hadn't seen anything completely turnkey that is of a price that a first time home buyer could afford normally. So yes, sweat equity is great, still great in my arena and yours too. We have very similar price point markets too, I think. So
Yeah, ours is around 229 right now, which is nuts because I remember when it was 160 and then we broke the 170 threshold. So it's wonderful to watch, but for your first time home buyers or investors who are looking for below 200,000, that gets competitive very quickly.
mhm.
So turning back the focus, I mean, again to you, someone is moving into the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area, or they're interviewing agents to be maybe their listing agent, why should they pick you and your company?
Most people enjoy working with me because I'm very honest. You won't see the fluff with me that doesn't really exist because I believe that fluff is fake, and I never want to fake someone out, tell someone something that's not true. That's not who I am, and that's not how I work. So I'm usually unabashedly honest. So and probably to my detriment. But a lot of clients like the fact that if I say I'm going to do something, I will do my best to do it. If I can't do it, then I don't back down. I will tell you, hey, this isn't done, but this is why. A lot of people also like the fact that, well, right now we're in a complete seller's market. We're at the lowest inventory, gosh, since I've been in real estate since 2015. We're at 2.3 months, and I hadn't seen January, but I'm assuming that it's a lot less now. And there's just nothing. So if you have a listing in the Baton Rouge area, I suggest you list it, whether it's with me or with someone else, that's fine. But make sure you list it because you can maximize on the value in your return right now.
Yeah. Oh, Brittany, we're at point 0.7.
Oh, well.
I just remember. So, but yeah, it's tough. And yes. And I've always appreciated that about you. For those who are watching and they're softly interviewing you, Brittany, to be their agent, that is something that over the years I have always appreciated. I know that I can call her up and she's very straight to the point with me, and she'll tell it like it is. But a lot of times I think that that's what sellers need to hear is someone who's going to say, I'm sorry, I know that this carpet isn't something that you really want to deal with, but it's going to be worth your time. Or yes, we really do need to take the wallpaper down. I know you don't want to deal with it, but we've got people who can help you with that.
Right. I
Um,
mean, I have now, I think I'm known in the industry for doing soft remodels every time I go to a house, right? The reason I do that is because when I do a soft remodel, we're not getting those objections that most buyers have. So most will say, "Oh, I don't like that wallpaper. I don't like that carpet." So if you can spend $3,000 to make 15,000, let's play around with this $3,000. Let's see if we can chat with the contractor. And see if he can push that off to the end for closing and he could get paid at closing because I built the relationships where sometimes my people don't have to come out of pocket. Now, will you be able to spend 15 or 20,000 to do that? No. But a couple $100 here or there, it's all relative and we can work it out.
So, what are your tips for buyers who are considering a home in the Baton Rouge area? Are there things like you guys are, I believe, more so than anyone in the country in a flood zone or dealing with floodplains? So, and I know your story, unfortunately, has been impacted by Hurricane Katrina.
It wasn't Katrina.
Oh, shoot. Which one was it?
It was an unnamed storm. It just
Oh,
rained.
okay. Because I knew it was flooding and
Yeah.
you've had to deal with remodeling. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, 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 no,
But
no, no. No, so Katrina was New Orleans, about an hour south. But what Katrina did for them was increase their purchase price too. Like those houses went from being just completely gentrified. I'm not sure how I feel about what happened to the people that were displaced there. It was very unfair.
Mm,
But they have some great areas there. Here, most of the people who flooded were homeowners. And so we saw an influx of investors coming in for flips and remodels, but we were pretty stable now. And that was 4 years ago. So basically it rained 36 inches in like 3 days or some crazy amount. And it flooded everything.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But
going back to the,
floodplains, yeah.
yeah, I want to
So
make sure that the tips that, connect people with tips. That was the point of the question.
no, 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 you're good. When you're looking here, there are a few things you need to think about. How long are you going to stay here? If that's 3 years or so, or you're planning to stay in that property for 3 years, I'd suggest looking for a property in flood zone X, which means no flood insurance required. I still say buy it; it's like less than 500 a year, or look for something with flood insurance below 1,000 per year, because when you don't, it'll affect your resale value because it knocks people out of their debt to income ratios. As far as our market right now, if you see it and you like it, make an offer. Because we have had clients recently who lost out, gosh, on four or five different clients have lost out on properties that they saw weeks ago when the market was a little bit more even, and now it's just like it's gone. And not only did it leave, it left with 3 offers behind it. So make the offer.
Yeah. Now, if I was to send you a referral from Indianapolis or for agents who are looking to send clients your direction, do you have a client that you really connect well with, or is there a certain client type that you love serving? I think military is
Yeah, like
pretty
VA.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, I personally like VA because I feel like they service. So usually frontline workers I like a lot too. Like I like everybody, but most of my clients that are from out of the area are usually VA. I'm very well versed in it and what they're looking for. I'm a mom. I have children ranging from, gosh, almost 20 all the way down to 8. And so I kind of know those little pockets and circles and, where should I go? Or where's this dog park? Or, Brittany, where's the best place to eat? While I can't direct someone to certain school zones, I can, let you know that Zachary, for example, is the number one school district in the state. Central's not far behind because that's, common knowledge. Um, Most of the time, oddly enough, this is gonna sound really weird, but my clients have 3 or 4 kids. So it's a whole bunch of kids. It's us. We enjoy each other. We have fun.
Mhm.
Um, they're usually slightly crunchy because, believe it or not, I was a crunchy mom. So baby wearing, EBF, cloth diaper. I was that mom too. And it's really weird because we don't know it at first. We find out later on in the conversation about it. And so we geek
Mhm.
out on that. But I'm trying to think of what that most of all my clients have in common.
Mhm.
They are very almost checklist driven too, which
Mhm.
is a lot like me naturally, where I don't do abstract thoughts. It's very okay. This is this box and that is that. So my clients actually get checklists. So,
Mhm.
of course they would, but that's it. We're very laid back in Louisiana. I mean, you will have some agents who dress up really nicely, and then you have agents like me. I'll show up in a jeans. I mean, I don't wear baseball caps to, well, maybe, but if we're going to a construction site, you'll see me in my little baseball cap that says, "Hey, y'all." But we're very relaxed in the South. It's not so we don't have to move as fast as other people. Now, does that mean you don't have to move on a property that fast? No, but I mean, and naturally we're slower. We have fun. We break bread together a lot. Crawfish is a new experience. I just started eating it a few years ago. I ate gumbo for the first time this year. I'm from Tennessee, so it took me a minute, but the food is really good here, and the people are super duper nice. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that that's true, or has been true and consistent with um, the dialogue that I've heard from people from Louisiana. I want to kind of go back to a conversation that you and I had a few weeks ago because I think it's important.
Mhm.
So I think you shared that Louisiana as a state is very protective of buyers. Is
True.
that true? And so, how would you, maybe you've got a first time seller who's thinking of coming on the market, what things should they know that, because the state is more buyer friendly,
Right.
they should keep in mind?
Disclose, 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 and understand that during your inspection period, which is usually 10 to 14 days here, a buyer can walk away for anything. If the wind blows wrong when they walk out the front door, they can walk away. But am I seeing that a lot where buyers are just changing their mind? No. It's odd. Um, and it's usually another source of why they change their mind. But they can walk away. You'll see me on a lot of our contracts. I don't really ask for a deposit nor put it because the buyers 9 times out of 10 will be able to get that back. And they're not like I think in other states, deposits are like 1% of the purchase price or 0.5% or something like that. No, here they're 500 or $1,000. Sometimes when you get above 500,000, you'll see slightly more, but that's really rare.
Mhm.
So it's not worth the hassle it takes.
Okay. Well, Brittany, any other tips or pieces of advice, or maybe let's also go the direction of agents too. Maybe somebody's thinking of switching their careers and getting into real estate. I just want this interview to be both really jam-packed with value, but also just put a spotlight on how much knowledge you know, because you are a wealth of knowledge.
So for me, real estate has been fun. I know a lot of people when I originally got started, I said, supply demand, there are too many real estate agents. That's not true. There is business enough for everybody, right? Like some of my best friends are agents in my market, and we're still really, really good friends. We're not competition. We have fun. There's business enough for us all if someone wants to join. For an agent, I would say make sure you follow your schedule. And by schedule, I don't mean it has to be perfectly time blocked in your phone or whatever I used to try to do with a little planner and I used to write all this crap down. No, I mean, do the activities daily that bring you residual income, or I guess your normal income and residual. But if you want to make six figures, you probably, in our price points, need to talk to about 25 to people per day about real estate related activities. Um, are there ways around it where you can where you can have one conversation and then talk to a bunch of people? Yeah, of course. You can shoot one video and you can have this snippet of a video across all of your social media platforms. You can jump on Clubhouse, my new favorite app, right? And you can be in a room full of hundreds of people and you can just talk about real estate. So you're checking off your boxes, and activity begets activity. So the more you put out into the universe, it'll come back. So be very careful on what you're telling the universe, because if you tell the universe, I'm never going to have this deal, or I'm never going to find this house, for buyers, or I'm never going to sell my house, the universe will give you what you asked for. But if you go in and you say, I'll go ahead and I'll do what it takes to get it done, um, then the universe reciprocates that as well.
It is amazing what you can put your mind to. And I think it's Norman Vincent Peale who said it, and hopefully this is correct. What the mind can believe it can achieve.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Or what the mind, I don't know. Yeah, that's close. I was actually thinking of the law of attraction with The Secret,
Yeah.
which is why I threw myself off with it. But that's very close to it. I'm a huge believer of The Secret. I'm
Mhm.
usually pretty positive. I cuss a little bit. I've been really mild in this, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't trust people who can't drop F-bombs. So people should probably know that about me. The agents here think it's hilarious. And my clients too, because sometimes like they'll call me and they'll just say, "What the F?" And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And then we'll get off the phone. And by the way, and then I'll tell them, by the way, I appreciate that. I don't trust people who can't drop F-bombs. And they just find it hilarious. And they were like, "Brittany, was I really that bad?" And I'm like, "No, you were mild. You're like Tabasco sauce, not hot sauce." So,
Yeah, we're different in that way. Partially from upbringing, and I just
I'm
but
a preacher's
but
kid, babe.
well, yeah, sorry, like five thoughts converged at the same time. I think on one hand, I appreciate the honesty when
Mhm.
people cuss, because I don't like the front of someone not feeling like they can speak their mind. But
Right.
then I just, I want to handle myself differently. And that's not in a judgment or criticism, because I
No, no,
love
no, no,
who
no.
you
But
are.
people also have to be very true to themselves,
Yes.
right? The truth for me is sometimes there's no other way to say it. Like, and it's really weird, right? I went to Vanderbilt. There are plenty words, so I have to tell people all the time. It's not when I'm cursing that there's an issue. It's when I'm not. Like when I get very angry,
Hmm.
you'll never hear me curse. And even my broker is like, "This is the most bizarre thing. Is everything okay? Or are
No,
you about to pop?" And I'm like, "I'm
yeah.
probably about to pop." Yeah.
Yeah, I know several friends who have that type of methodology, and you just got to have wisdom with, I mean, real estate. For those watching, we've kind of gone off on the side a little bit, but I think you can also see our personalities coming through
Mhm.
this. um, Real estate is a very stressful career, and we're helping people experience one of the most one of the most stressful things they will go through in their life. It's
Well,
in the
and the
top
biggest
10.
purchase, right? So
Yes.
I tell my clients all the time, especially in this market, don't stress about finding your house. That's my job to take that stress. But I need you to tell me exactly what you want. And when we find that, I need you to make the offer. That is the only time you stress. Other than that, it's my job to stress for you. That's why you hired me.
Yeah.
But in doing that, when you have multiple clients, you also have multiple weights on your shoulders. I do have a team of 7, so I have their clients weight on my shoulders too, because right now this inventory is insane.
Hmm.
I can't believe you have point 0.7. I'd probably die. I cannot. Oh God, I'm probably breaking out in hives right now thinking about that. Like I'm
That's
so
why I'm doing my builder interviews, because there's nothing, and you've got people coming to you that want to sell or need to upsize because of COVID.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, well, I want to move. Where am I going to go? So you either have to find off market properties, which is creating very interesting opportunities. We are seeing an uptick in for sale by owners, because people think, oh, I can just go on social media and then on those third party platforms and post that. And
Right.
then there's obviously new construction. So I think those are the three main avenues of where we're at as an industry here in
Yeah, as a
Indianapolis.
nation, right. Well, no, I would
But
say almost as a nation. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was like literally my next thing. What's weird for me is it's across price points too, right?
Hmm.
It's not just the lower, which is, that sub 200,000 is always kind of hard to find a buyer, right?
Hmm.
No, it's all of them. I have a buyer right now who's looking over 500,000. There's nothing. Like we've seen everything on the market. And it's like some of them are that price and they need work. And I'm like, okay. Wow. So it's a very, very stressful market too.
Yeah, even like the $1 million price point here, like we've got, it's kind of impressive. I feel like we have a good amount of $1 million plus listings, but they're not moving.
Mm,
And I think there's a couple of different things coming into play. One, there's some uncertainty around investing right now, or in the jumbo market, they're wanting to see interest rates come down. So they're holding off from purchasing, which means they're holding off from selling,
mhm.
depending on their credit situation with COVID or job loss that could have delayed a
Right.
transition. And then I've also heard that some people who would have sold have chosen to invest and purchase and not sell. So they're borrowing against their current home and putting that as a down payment. So the inventory that would have become available has not. And so it's just, there's a lot of variety and the reasons why we're not seeing more inventory. But good news is for builders, there's no
Well,
shortage.
but the problem too is there's only so much land. So eventually that runs out too. And what I'm seeing here is even if I found somebody a house today, it would still take you about 6 months to finish it. So if you live in a house right now, then you need to hold off to that 3 month mark, but be very careful with that because if interest rates go back up, then you could lose your pool of buyers. So it's a very scary for especially for listings. They're very the sellers are very scared, right?
Hmm.
Because how exactly do you find your next property if nobody's going to take your offer with a contingency that's not on the market, not understanding your house will sell in 2 days or 24 hours or 3 hours, whatever we're seeing right now.
Have you ever proposed, because I 100% agree, sellers have a ton of leverage right now. And
Mhm.
I generally am not a fan of the leaseback situation, but I think this is one of those times where a seller could say, I want 6 months, 90 days, whatever, post closing to figure out where I'm going to go. And then the buyer has a timeline of, okay, this is when I can expect to move in. And then the seller has what they want, they have their house sold, and then they can appeal to a new buyer. Have you ever done that, or do you think that that's
I've done
a
it
good
a
idea?
little bit, like a week or two, but nothing that dramatic.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how the FHA guidelines would look at it. Like,
Mm,
is it considered a rental?
mm.
I
Probably
guess,
because you would be
yeah,
leasing back to the new buyer.
right, right. So I don't know. So, it's a great one. I'm not sure. I've recently started thinking about the only other thing I can guess would be people who have been in their homes a long time, right?
Mhm,
And basically just knocking on the doors, because if they've been in a family neighborhood or a family centric neighborhood for 15 years, then their
mhm.
kids are grown. It's time to sell. Look, can you please leave? So that these people with the little kids can get in. They have babies just like you did. It's time to go.
Well, the problem is with that demographic, if it's an older
Mhm.
family, a lot of times their mortgage payment, especially if they just refinanced, is going to be sub probably 600, depending obviously on the
Mhm.
price point and what they have left on their mortgage. But you cannot, for most areas anyway, go rent something or an apartment for that much. So we have this displacement.
Well, but remember they have that huge cash to put in too.
True, true.
So right now, I sold one yesterday where the people sold their house. They were actually homeless. It happened to them. My listing was available. They purchased it, but they put down over six figures on it. And so when you're putting down that much, you might be able to get back into that very close to where you were into a more manageable house versus living in a 3,000 square foot house that nobody comes to visit. Or, you get visitors at Christmas. Like my parents, we come for Christmas. They live in 3,200 square feet on an acre and a half. So that's a little much.
No, that's a really great point. And I think just for those watching, really do think about, I think a lot of times when people think or consider properties that have a lot of square footage, it's like, oh, well, I need to be able to host these family members, but how often do you actually see them? And is that truly a need? And
Right.
are you going to be paying hundreds of dollars a month for that extra space, not only in the square footage, but also in the cost of utilities?
And the
So,
property taxes.
yes, that
Hmm.
too, or in your case, flood insurance.
That too. Yeah. We can, so it's really weird. Like I'll tell people here, I know that that Florida, if people are watching from Florida, they have pools in Florida. We don't have many pools here in Louisiana. Why? I don't know. Like it's very strange for me being from Tennessee and being on the Gulf Coast in the subtropical region. And the house is just that they just don't do the pool thing. I think it's bizarre, but they don't. So if you're coming looking for a pool, that's a very, very hard sell. Or a hard purchase. It always has been. So if you see the right one, make the offer. Like I don't know how many times I've said that, but make the offer. It's been like that for probably 16 months or so.
Yeah, and that's not you trying to push somebody into a home. You're trying to help
Me
somebody
trying to
get the
make sure.
home
Yeah,
because,
it's me trying to make sure somebody doesn't remain homeless because you will. So
well, Brittany, we
I
are
don't even have a license with pools, but I'm just saying. If you have one in Baton Rouge that's up to 535 on water, please contact me. because the struggle's real. So there you go.
That's awesome. Yeah, 535 on water with a pool. That sounds
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. And a place to park the side by sides will be awesome too. I tell my clients I do whatever it took to find them their house. I'm probably gonna knock on doors, I guess. I'm not sure because COVID, so we have to be very careful with how we approach things now. But I'm of the opinion that I guess I'm gonna use like an umbrella or something like that, and like ring the doorbell and like open the umbrella or something weird because that's all I got. I look like Mary Poppins now. There you go. Gosh.
You could go viral for that. Like agent rings the doorbell and like
Trying to make it rain.
or
Just
you know
make
what?
it
Dress up in a dino costume and
rain.
like, I mean, you could have fun with that.
I mean, I got nothing else, so why not? I don't have a dino costume.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Sorry, light bulb. Okay.
saw it. It just
You
went ding, ding, ding.
um you could have a dino costume and then have a t-shirt on that says like inventory is becoming extinct or something like play on that.
I like this. One of my neighbor's kids actually has one. I'm gonna call her and be like, "Can I borrow that costume? I need some stuff. What do you need, Brittany? Some houses. I need to find these people houses." So, and it would be like that's totally my character too because I'm super laid back. I never take myself so seriously. I don't know. I think I'm funny. Sometimes people don't laugh, but it's okay because I laugh anyways.
Yep, we could go for hours, Brittany, on ridiculous things that I've done or been a part of.
Well,
So
no, when the light bulb went off, I literally saw it. It was, and I was like, I see it, it's right there.
yeah, I'm never short of ideas. So
Me neither. And I think I'm gonna borrow the dinosaur costume, and I'm gonna just be walking around. Like I was gonna go outside today with a megaphone. Anybody want to sell their house? Please let me know.
no. Okay, here's how you take it a step further. You get a videographer to go with you, and then you get people's reactions.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. I know people. I will probably have to set that up for next week. So there we go. I agree.
Oh man, keep me in the loop how that goes.
Oh no, you'll see the videos on social media. So they'll be like, "Yep, Brittany's finally lost her mind. She's gone. Yep, she went crazy, y'all." If it's finally happened, oh my goodness. So yes.
Well, Brittany, this has been a delight to connect with you again, as always.
I know I had so much fun.
What would be the best way for people to connect with you if they're interested in learning more about working with you?
So you can email me, Brittiny, Brittiny, at thebgroupagent.com, or I think our Google page is finally up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And we're helping all our reviews since we lost them all recently. Oh God.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're the B group at Supreme Realtors, and Instagram, Britt Howard Goes. So
Okay.
I'm super easy. If you email me, I usually respond back. I should probably leave a phone number too. That might help. You see what happens? You see, like the most like abstract things. I'm like, shh.
I
And
should
it's like,
probably do this, and it's really important.
I know you should probably call me. That would be easy. So you can call at 225-500-2017. Either me or one of the amazing agents I get a chance to work with every day will answer the phone for you. And no time's too late or too early. We're all always up trying to find houses in dinosaur suits now.
Or you can also connect with Brittany on Clubhouse.
Yes.
So
I'm Britt Howard on Clubhouse.
awesome. Well, Brittany, I'm going to put that information in the comment section of this, I almost said email, video. And if anybody has any questions, obviously she is a gem and is in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area. So Brittany, thank you for your time. I hope you have a wonderful
Thank you.
afternoon.
I'm not nude, by the way. I saw that shoulder. Like I totally have on like this little cute shirt. So yeah. Did you see that?
I don't think anybody saw that, but hey.
Oh my God.
But
I mean, that might work too for getting new listings. So I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do that one. The dinosaur suit, yes. The other part, nah.
Alrighty then. I hope you have a wonderful
Poor
afternoon.
Jess. Jess is like, really, Brittany? Oh
No.
my God.
I just don't know how to segue into that. But yes, it was a great conversation.
It was nice meeting you, or nice meeting you. It's nice meeting everybody who I can't see. But Jess, it was nice chatting with you again. And no, I'm totally not drinking. This is the natural Brittany. She is just.
It's wonderful. We need some refreshing vibrancy in our industry. I think there's too many of us who are like straight jacket, for lack of a better word, just for cookie cutter.
Serious. And it's like, sometimes you just gotta laugh. Like sometimes you gotta wear a dinosaur suit and say, look, all the listings are extinct. Help me. I am going to walk around. I BS you not. I'm going to walk around with the megaphone through these neighborhoods and just say, help me.
If you get the cops calling you, it's not my fault.
No, so many of my clients are police officers that would be like, Black girl, doesn't sound like she's from here. That's just Brittany. Like, just ignore her. She's probably trying to find somebody a house. That's what she does. Okay. So no, but most of my clients are police officers too. I have a huge client pool of that, and why I'm not too sure, but yeah. My uncle was a lieutenant in Tennessee.
You could take, okay, another segue off of the dino costume. So Whitestown here in Indiana, they do the, which sounds racist, but it's not. It's named after Albert S. White, who was an abolitionist and helped with.
It's one of my clients' names.
Oh, really?
Well, not the S, but yeah.
Well, he was a leading abolitionist and helped Abraham Lincoln end slavery. So the town was named after him. But Whitestown does every year this Grinch thing at Christmas, where the town has to find the Grinch. And then on Christmas Eve, the Grinch gets arrested, and it's a whole like social media thing. So you could involve, since you've got clients with the police force, you could make it a social media thing.
Yeah, I could totally make a call. I have dispatchers. I have clients with patrol cars. They would totally be down for that. If you and they're hot messes too. So
if you see the dino,
the best clients ever, they're hilarious.
I love it. I love it. Well, Brittany, want to respect your time. I know you are a busy gal. And
I know we have carpool next.
Carpool.
Yeah, carpool. Like you got to go get the kids from school.
Oh, I thought. It sounded so like savvy. I thought it was an app I didn't know about.
It is an app. I get in. Oh my God. Now you get to see the real Jess too. She's hilarious too. She's really blonde, even though she's not. But so am I, like, right? Because you've seen it a couple of times and I'm like, is that a, oh yeah. Yeah. For the blonde people.
I do have my moments where, yeah.
I'm gonna get the app named Carpool. Yeah. I need an app to remind me to go to carpool sometimes, so that would actually work. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. It's like big hearts.
It's all good.
Oh my gosh. But no, if anybody has any questions, I want people to understand too how much of a connector you are, because we talked a lot about me, and I know this is like you're showing all this good stuff and you're going to highlight me, but you are an amazing connector in your area. I've never seen anyone know so many intricacies about their area. And so I'm like extremely impressed by that, and extremely impressed of your knowledge of the building process too, and of all the processes and intricacies of the contracts and stuff like that. So there you go.
Thank you, dear. I didn't ask her to say that.
Oh, yeah, nobody. I probably would have forgot if she asked me. So
no, I just try to wake up and work really hard every day to do what I know is right. Or like, I think a lot of times we can attend these conferences or you see people who are killing it and it gives you an idea. And I think I just feel like this responsibility to execute on the ideas that God's given me and to do them well. And sometimes the challenge with that is you can see the pathway of the potential that something has, and
you have to figure out the obstacles.
Yeah. So, and just to be content with, not being able to do all of it sometimes, but the important thing is that every day we wake up and we work hard to try and live out our purpose and to do that well. So I try and fail often, but thank you for the encouragement all the same.
It's okay. We're all failing, babe. But I'm about to wear a dinosaur suit, so I will send you pictures. We will be able to post it here, and it'll be me in the dinosaur suit. Yeah, watch. I'm gonna do that.
I love it.
I'm
All
about to
right.
call my neighbor now. So yeah,
Well, have fun with your carpool.
I know.
And
Thank you.
we'll
Not the
talk
app,
soon.
the carpool. Yeah,
Yeah, the kiddos.
yeah.
All
But if
right.
you need anything, give me a call or whatever. Thank you so much for having me too.
You bet. Thanks.
You're welcome.